For ages, people assumed these creatures were nothing more than stories. Yet, over time, pieces of evidence began to suggest otherwise. Today, I'll take you through 7 mythical beings, once dismissed as fiction or fear, but now reconsidered through the lens of science, history, and eyewitness accounts. Let's begin in the frozen wilderness of northern Canada, a place where the cold alone can kill you. Winters there are long, dark, and brutally harsh. For the Algonquin people who once lived off that land, every winter brought a dangerous question. Would there be enough food to survive? When animals vanished and crops failed, starvation haunted every village. In those desperate times, legend says a person might face an impossible choice: to die slowly from hunger, or to do the unthinkable, eat another human being. And with that single act, they would become something no longer human. They would become a wendigo. The wendigo is described as a skeletal, hollow-eyed creature. Its gray, corpse-like skin stretched tight across its bones. Its mouth is smeared with blood, and its body reeks of rot and decay. Within its chest beats a heart made of solid ice, and with each human it consumes, the monster grows larger, though its hunger never fades. The more it eats, the emptier it feels. Cursed with endless craving, the wendigo is said to wander the forests forever, searching for flesh. The very people it once called family or friends. The legend grew so powerful that even in modern psychology, the term wendigo psychosis is used to describe a person overcome by the desire to eat human flesh and the fear of becoming a cannibal. Today, most of us never have to face such choices, but for the Algonquin people during brutal winters, it was more than just a story. It was a warning that hunger could turn anyone into a monster, and your neighbor could become your next meal. Number 6, Charybdis. Most sea monsters bite. Charybdis devoured the ocean itself. In Greek myth, she haunted the waters of the Strait of Messina, hidden beneath a jagged rock, but she was not alone. On the opposite side dwelled Scylla, a creature with snapping mouths. Any ship trying to pass between them faced certain doom. Too close to Scylla, and sailors were ripped to pieces. Drift toward Charybdis, and the vessel would be dragged into the sea. She did not chase her prey. She lay in wait. The legends say Charybdis drank in massive waves, holding them within her body. Then, when she released them, the water spun into a raging whirlpool, strong enough to swallow ships whole. Heroes like Odysseus and Jason were said to encounter her, though most who tried never came back. Charybdis appears again and again in Greek storytelling. Some thought she was a gigantic serpent with a thirst so great it altered the tides. Her appetite set the very rhythm of the sea. Modern science offers another explanation. The whirlpools of the strait do exist, but they are not lethal. They are the result of colliding currents. Turbulent, but not enough to match the terror of the myth. Small boats can overturn in storms, yet the waters are not the gaping mouth of a beast. Still, why did ancient sailors cling to the story? Perhaps the danger felt real enough to give her life in their minds. Or perhaps something truly was there, something that left no witnesses behind. From raging waters to shadowed jungles, the next legend lurks in Africa, where whispers tell of a beast that even elephants fear. Number 5. Emela-ntouka. Most people have heard of the Amazon, but far less know of the Congo rainforest, a stretch of Central Africa even more mysterious and far less charted. It is a land where roads fade, legends thrive, and some claim the age of dinosaurs never truly ended. Among the people, there is talk of a beast called Emela-ntouka, translated as the elephant killer. That name alone is chilling, but the description makes it stranger still. Witnesses speak of a reddish-brown animal with heavy legs, a long, sweeping tail, and a single, deadly horn rising from its head. This creature is not said to feed on flesh, yet it is known to strike at elephants, not for food, but to guard its territory. Its horn, dense as bone or ivory, is strong enough to tear open even the largest of rivals. Does that sound like a dinosaur? Many think so, pointing out its resemblance to the horned dinosaurs of long ago, the ceratopsians. But according to science, those vanished in the great extinction of the Cretaceous. So, what are people encountering? Some think it might be a modern rhino, but there's a problem. African rhinos bear 2 horns and short tails, while Emela-ntouka is described with one horn and a long tail. Because of that, a few researchers believe it could represent a species unknown to modern science, perhaps even a living link to ancient families like Arsinoitherium or Megacerops, giant, rhino-like animals that once roamed prehistoric Earth. Could one of them still be alive in the Congo swamps? If so, it would mean more than survival. It would mean triumph over extinction. Do you think one of these beasts might still exist? Tell me which in the comments. Number 4. The chimera. Picture a creature with the head of a lion breathing fire, a goat's head rising from its back, and a snake for a tail, dripping with venom. It sounds impossible, yet that was the chimera, one of the most feared monsters of Greek myth. The stories say she was born of Typhon, a giant so fierce he fought the gods themselves, and Echidna, a being half woman and half serpent. The chimera laid waste to the land of Lycia, scorching fields and villages, until the hero Bellerophon, riding the winged horse Pegasus, brought her down. Even then, her legend did not die. Her image spread across coins, pottery, and sculpture, shaping art and memory. Even geography carried her name. Mount Chimera in modern Turkey still burns with eternal flames, caused by natural gas seeping from beneath the earth. To the Greeks, those fires were not geology. They were evidence the chimera once prowled there, but the word chimera did not stay locked in myth. It entered science. Today, a chimera is very real, though in a different sense. The name is used for any organism made from cells of two different species. In the 1980s, for instance, scientists merged goat and sheep embryos to create a living chimera, not a hybrid, but a single animal formed from two embryos. More recently, researchers have implanted human brain cells into mice, also called chimeras. These are not fire-breathing monsters, but they do challenge us with unsettling questions. Where do we draw the boundary between human and non-human? In 1998, two scientists even attempted to patent a human-animal chimera. The application was rejected, labeled both unsafe and monstrous. So we moved from myth to laboratory, yet the feeling remains. The chimera still carries a shadow of danger, not only because of what it once symbolized, but because of what we might one day create. Yet the chimera was not the only monster guarding myths of fire and fury. Another stood at the very gates of death itself. Number 3. Cerberus. Cerberus was no ordinary hound. This creature had 3 enormous heads, a mane writhing with snakes, and a tail shaped like a serpent. Some tales said his eyes could petrify, while his fangs dripped with poison. Born of monsters, he stood chained at the gates of the underworld. No soul escaped, and no living being entered unless Hades allowed it. In certain stories, each head had its own vision. One gazed into the past, another into the present, the third into the future. Others believed the 3 heads symbolized life's stages: birth, youth, and old age. Either way, Cerberus was the ultimate sentinel. Even heroes trembled before him. Orpheus managed to slip past by soothing the beast with music, lulling him into slumber. Hercules, on the other hand, chose force, grappling Cerberus until he won. But Cerberus is not just a relic of Greek storytelling. Across cultures, the idea of a guardian beast at the threshold of life and death appears again and again. In Egypt, there was Anubis. In Norse tales, the hound Garmr. Perhaps deep down, humanity found comfort in the thought of a watchful dog standing guard over us forever. Maybe that is why the legend endured, because it echoed something we recognized. Could a creature like Cerberus have existed? Not in the exact form of a 3-headed giant hound, yet nature has shown it can bend its own rules. Animals with 2 heads, snakes, turtles, even dogs, have been born and documented by science. Rare but real. These mutations seem uncanny, but they prove biology is not as fixed as we think. Now consider this. If ancient people saw such oddities more than once, what would happen? Over generations, the memory might grow. 2 heads becoming 3, strange traits exaggerated, until the story hardened into myth. And thus, Cerberus, the Death Gatekeeper, was born. If the underworld had a sentinel, then the oceans may hide their own. Modern accounts suggest something eerily human drifting in the deep. Number 2. Ningen. The Ningen is a sea creature from Japanese lore, though it stands apart from ordinary myths. Descriptions claim it is enormous, anywhere from 65 to nearly 100 feet long. Its body is unsettlingly human-like, yet not fully human. Pale white skin, long arms, and wide webbed hands. Some witnesses even describe a tail, more like a mermaid than a fish. In 2022, a group studying whales reported a bizarre encounter. What they saw was no whale. The skin was too smooth, the shape too pale, and the figure seemed almost human. They even noticed what looked like fingers. The being surfaced briefly near their vessel, then slipped back beneath the waves before they could respond. But the tale goes back further. In 2005, an odd image on Google Maps showed a strange form in the waters off Namibia. Many dismissed it as ice, though not everyone was convinced. Then, in 2010, a Japanese research team captured footage of something resting deep on the seabed. It had a massive frame, tiny eyes, and an eerie, stretched smile. It did not swim, it did not move, it only stared. Some suggested it was a large eel or sea snake. Others swore it was capable of walking on land, upright, like a frozen person brought to life. The most disturbing part? Not all of that footage was ever made public. Some say authorities withheld it to avoid panic. And here is a detail that makes it all more unsettling. In Japanese, Ningen does not mean monster or beast. It simply means human. And while the Ningen blurs the line between man and sea, our final creature united earth and sky, ruling as king of both. Number 1. Griffin. The griffin was part lion, part eagle. Its body, legs, and tail came from the lion, while its head was that of an eagle. Some depictions gave it wings tipped with razor talons. Others left it wingless. More than a creature, it symbolized authority, the ruler of both land and air. For that reason, legends often portrayed it as sovereign over all creation. Tales of griffins appear in cultures stretching from the Middle East to Northern Europe. They were said to guard sacred tombs and hidden treasures. In some stories, even their feathers held power, able to restore sight to the blind. But the real puzzle remains. Were griffins only legends, or did they spring from something people actually encountered? If you were a Scythian living along the Black Sea thousands of years ago, you might have thought so, especially when stumbling upon the strange bones of creatures we now recognize as Protoceratops. Protoceratops was a real dinosaur. It lived in the Cretaceous period, roughly the size of a sheep, and carried features that seemed mismatched. To us, familiar with dinosaur images, it looks ordinary enough. But to ancient people who had no concept of dinosaurs, the skull with its beak-like snout suggested an eagle, while the powerful body seemed more like a lion. From that blend, the griffin may have been imagined. That is the argument of Adrienne Mayer, a historian at Stanford. She proposes that ancient peoples discovered such fossils, could not explain them, and wove stories to fill the gaps. Yet not everyone accepts this view. Dr. Mark Whitten offers a different perspective. He believes griffins were inspired not by ancient bones, but by living animals, large raptors, lions, or perhaps a mix of both, shaped in legend. In his view, griffins were not early science, but pure storytelling. So, which explanation is true? Were griffins myths born from fossils, or were they visions stitched together from creatures that already walked the earth? In either case, the griffin is only one chapter in a wider tale. Many beings once cast aside as fantasy later revealed surprising ties to reality, and some still hide mysteries science has yet to solve.